they'll sound okay for a while, and then they'll sound kind of flippy.
They're gone.
Right. But you are normal people, and when people find out that you're interested, I'm sure all kinds of people come out of the woodwork and just jabber to no end about this and that and everything. But you're having meaningful conversations in both the scientific world and the world at large about these things. Are people getting more interested?
I've noticed a big increase in interest. I've been giving UFO talks for 10 or 12 years. When I first started, I just tried to get people to at least be open to the possibility there may be some grain of truth in what I'm talking about. Now, people are right there with me, and I can sense that they're listening and considering it seriously. And after every talk that I give, someone comes up afterwards and tells me about experiences. I gave a talk to non-commissioned officers at Offutt Air Force Base last fall, and I had one or two of them come up afterwards and tell me their experiences with UFOs, and that happens all the time.
In fact, many military personnel, maybe it's because if there are aliens, that they're attracted to what we're doing from a military or scientific viewpoint, but there are lots of stories. I've had people tell me, too, that have been in the military, and of course they don't want to say anything.
That's right. They're very careful. And don't get me started. I'll start my 2-hour lecture, but there's a lot I could tell you about Russia, Russian military. They're very open about it in Russia and things that have happened.
I was going to ask that. And there's this alleged conspiracy to keep a cap on it, or at least not be as open, you know, that Area 51 and Roswell and all that, you know, that the Air Force has been keeping a cap on that. Do you feel that's true? You said Russia's more open?
People often ask me whether I believe there's a government cover-up of UFO information. The answer I give is that it's really not a matter of what I believe. There is a government cover-up. It's a matter of court record. There are classified documents that deal with UFOs. Judges have ruled that it would be detrimental to national security to release the information in those documents. So it's not a matter of whether there's a cover-up. It's what being covered up. It's a matter of court record. It's a fact that there is.
I might say that this really hurts people like me because of our credibility. In other words, it's not recognized officially, the personal experiences. So we sort of feel like outcasts. And but there are very credible stories, and there are multiple witnesses to a lot of encounters.
What? I keep hearing this. This is detrimental to sort of our congregate sanity. Perhaps and there are other religions besides Judeo-Christian beliefs there, but that it would just set everything absolutely in a tiz, and therefore, you know, culturally, economically, it would just fall apart. Maybe I'm just too naive. I don't get it.
I've never been very sympathetic for that. I suppose that could happen. But, for example, I'm Catholic, and I've discussed this with priests and a lot of different people. To me, it would show God's grandeur much, much more deeply if there's intelligent life all over the universe, and if they're here, too. I mean, there's no conflict with religion for me at all.
As a matter of fact, I think it supports the Bible, for instance. I can state very confidently that what I experienced is described almost perfectly in the Bible from Genesis through Revelations, and that particularly is the phenomena, the clouds of fog, that sort of thing, the voice coming from a source that you can't see, and so forth. It's a fascinating subject, and as an engineer, I'm extremely interested in the phenomena. I think it's time we get on and try to understand what's actually taking place.
You know, we have oftentimes throughout, when we look at history, we try to understand the commonality in religions. We try to understand why pyramids were constructed in so many places of the world with you know, other diversities in their culture. And UFOs and alien visitations have been used as possible explanations. Is there other academic research going on? How can we academically research things that happened before our history? We can't carbon date whether or not there was an alien here, you know?
Yeah, that's a tough question. That's a little bit out of my field, but right. I think, you know, there are two different points of view. You try to prove what you can scientifically, but that does not mean that the other point of view is wrong. It may mean that science is not capable of measuring it. So you have to keep that. I mean, there's been no science, as far as I know, that's measured what John has experienced. That doesn't mean it didn't happen. It just may mean that we're not capable of measuring that.
You know, I think, don't we have, though, some scientific somewhat scientific